When she moved to Dubai, everything around her was new. Tall buildings, busy streets, and bright lights everywhere. But inside, she felt a little empty. Something was missing. She'd always dreamed of having a cat, but she never imagined the right one would find her so soon. That cat was Cheese. Cheese had been given up by his first owner because there were too many kittens in the house. When she saw his little orange face for the first time, she felt something special. He looked calm but curious, and the moment she picked him up, he leaned into her hand like he already trusted her. That was it. From that second on, they belonged to each other. At first, she was nervous. She had never owned a cat before and didn't know much about how to care for one. But Cheese made it easy. He wasn't just friendly, he was smart. He had his own way of talking. Every sound he made meant something different. When he wanted attention, he'd give a soft MRRP. When he wanted food, it was a long meow. And when he wanted belly rubs, he made a funny chirping sound like a tiny bird. It never failed to make her laugh. The more time she spent with him, the more she started to understand his language. It was like they were learning to talk to each other without words. Still, it wasn't always perfect. Cheese loved affection, but only for a while. He'd sit on her lap for 10 minutes, purring loudly, and then suddenly jump off and walk away as if to say that's enough for now. When his ears pointed sideways, she called them his airplane ears. That was her sign to give him space. He had his moods, his routines, and his rules. But somehow it all made sense. In his quiet way, Cheese was teaching her about respect. How love didn't mean holding on too tightly, but knowing when to give space. And then one day, he completely shocked her. She tossed one of his toys across the room, expecting him to ignore it like most cats do. But Cheese ran after it, picked it up in his mouth, and dropped it right beside her. He wanted to play fetch, like a dog. She laughed so hard she couldn't stop. From then on, fetch time became their favorite game. Cheese's personality kept surprising her. Sometimes he'd run around the house like a little tornado, chasing imaginary things. Other times he'd just sit by the window, watching the world go by with calm eyes. He was funny, moody, and incredibly loving, all at once. But what made Cheese truly special wasn't just his quirks. It was the comfort he gave her when life got hard. She had been struggling with anxiety and depression for a long time. Some days, she came home feeling empty, her heart heavy. But Cheese was always there, waiting by the door, tail up, eyes bright. He didn't need to do much. Just knowing he was there made the world feel a little less lonely. There were nights when she couldn't sleep. She'd sit quietly and watch him. His tiny paws would twitch while he dreamed, his little chest moving up and down slowly. It was such a simple thing, but it brought her peace. For a few moments, everything felt okay. Over time, Cheese became more than just a cat. He became her little shadow. He followed her from room to room, sitting near her while she worked, curling up beside her when she folded laundry, and always choosing to nap where he could see her. He didn't need words to comfort her. Just his quiet presence was enough. He also had a funny habit. Every morning, he'd wake her up by gently tapping her face with his paw. If she ignored him, he'd tap again, this time harder. It was his way of saying, "Come on, breakfast time." It made her laugh every single day. Cheese filled her house with warmth. He turned lonely evenings into moments of joy. He gave her reasons to smile on days when nothing felt right. He was always there, offering silent love without expecting anything back. And the truth was, Cheese saved her. He might not know it, but he gave her purpose again. He taught her patience, softness, and how to find happiness in small things, like a purr, a playful look, or a quiet nap together. Now, years later, he's still the same, playful, loving, and full of personality. When she comes home, he greets her at the door with his tiny chirp. When she's sad, he curls up next to her without being asked. When she laughs, he watches her with those big, curious eyes that seem to understand everything. She often thinks about how lucky she was that day, how a cat named Cheese walked into her life and changed it completely. He made her home feel full again. He made her heart feel lighter. Cheese may just be one cat, but to her, he's everything. If this story touched your heart, please like and share it. Somewhere out there, Another cat like Cheese is waiting for someone to notice them. And maybe, just maybe, they'll end up changing another life too.